Don't let somebody that you look at in your phone and life you follow be somebody that you worship. Don't let your phone put forth an image of who you think you are when you know that's not really who you are. Have you ever heard the saying that concentration breeds conformity? It's when you concentrate on something long enough, you begin to conform to that something. So let me put it like this. How many of you have had a friend that you've known for a long time, and you knew how they acted, you knew how they talked, how they treated you, how they interacted with you? You know that. You've known them for a while. And all of a sudden, they got a boyfriend, or they got a girlfriend, or they got some new friends in their life, and all of a sudden, they begin to act like a totally different person. You're like, you hang around and you're like, sometimes you won't say it right away. You're wanting to say it. Sometimes, some of you have enough gumption about you. Ava would do it because she just is fiery like that, little redhead. She'd be like, who are you? I mean, she would say it like, and it needs to be said. It needs to be said. I don't even know who you are. You're acting like a totally different person. You ever know anybody like that? Let me see your hands. Yeah, you're like, what's happened to this individual? This is not, I've known you for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long it is, and all of a sudden they begin to act like a totally different person, and it's because they're hanging around somebody else and they're conforming to the image of that person, and they're acting like that person. So you begin to conform to that something in your life. You talk like it, you think like it, and you act like it. Too many students, I don't want it to be you guys, you talk like a cell phone, you act like a cell phone, right? And you think like a cell phone. That is, you don't want to communicate with anybody. You want to just send it in text. I don't want that to be you guys. I want you to be able to carry on a conversation with an individual and look them in the face and say, hey, how are you? My name is this. What is your name? But too many students find it hard to communicate and talk to somebody face to face. We want to hide behind a phone. We want to hide behind a text. I feel like I'm stepping on crayons. I am stepping on crayons. We want to hide behind a text. You know what's interesting? I'm going to move on. When we first started talking, how did the cavemen first start communicating to each other? What? What'd you say? Aaliyah, what'd you say? Drawings, pictures, little things scribbled on you see the little pictures like, oh, they drew this, and they drew this animal, this person, and a man with a spear, and all this kind of stuff, yeah. And so now, how do most of your friends want to communicate with you? Drawings, emojis, symbols, abbreviations. Let's don't go backwards, okay? We want to have conversation, okay? If we keep going the other way, we'll just walk up to somebody and be like, TYT, SMA, smiley face, crying face, yep, and we're gone. That's how we're going to communicate. So we don't want to keep going that way because that might be where we're headed, right? We want to communicate. That's what you are. Solid. Okay? So look at me. One leg you're standing on, Amber, should be, is the Word of God. You got to have the Word of God in your life. You need to read it, ask questions about it. You need to learn it because it'll be a solid foundation in your life. One leg you stand on needs to be the Word of God. Another leg you stand on needs to be prayer. You need to have conversation. Newsflash, text don't get up there to God. You need to talk to Him. You need to have conversation with Him. You need to share your heart, your innermost feelings, and your deepest thoughts and concerns about life and what you're going through with God. That's a solid leg you stand on. So if you just have one of these or two of these, a one-legged stool can't stand, can it? A two-legged stool can't stand. This is meant to be a four-legged stool. Your third leg needs to be solid Christian friendships. You got to have Christian friendships. The Bible is specific about not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, which means some are forsaking the assembling together. Even so much more as you see the day of Christ approaching, is what Hebrews 10 tells us. You're supposed to find solid, good Christian friends, and that will be a solid leg in your life. Are we perfect? No. Talked about it in Sunday school, didn't we, Isabel? None of us are perfect. No, not one. We're not perfect. But we're trying to live for Christ. That's a solid relationship. We're trying to do right and live right. Not constantly trying to pull you the other way. Constantly pulling you the other way. Solid Christian friendships. That's number 3. Number 4, I've learned in 27 years of youth ministry. Number 4 is mentors in your life. If you have the Word of God and prayer and Christian friends and mentors in your life, you will have a solid foundation. You need mentors in your life that will speak truth to you. Not always tell you what you want to hear, but tell you the hard truth. Tell you that is wrong. God is not happy. They're going to judge you. No, mentors don't judge. But they correct you. And they push you in the right direction. They don't pull you in the wrong direction. Solid Christian friends push you in the right direction. They don't pull you in the wrong direction. Solid friends. Solid mentors. We need to focus on these things. What happens is when we get so focused on technology, a toxin enters our body and it will try to attack. Now I know why I came up with mentors in this message. It just hit my spirit. And I'll share it. The toxins enter our body and it tries to attack one of these 4 foundational pillars in our life. That's what it's going to do. It's going to try to get you to cut off your mentors in your life. Seen it happen. Have students in my life that I've poured my heart into and helped and encouraged and done nothing to them, but when they go crazy, wild in sin, they cut me out of their life. Why? It's the enemy. It's conviction. Although I've never judged them. I'll never judge you if you mess up. I'll be there to help you. If you find yourself in trouble one night and you want to call me and say to your parents to get you out of trouble, I will come get you out of trouble. I will be there. I will fight for you. That toxin in our body wants to cut the mentors out of your life or cut off the solid Christian relationships in your life. It's going to attack something. It may attack the Word of God in your life and you just kind of tune out the Word of God and don't listen to it because the Word of God is what corrects us and reproves us and helps us along our way and lets us look in the mirror and see who we really are. It lets us look in the mirror and see where we need to change. The Word of God is what changes us. The Word of God is what is sharper than any two-edged sword. But that toxin in our body wants us to cut out the Word of God from our life. That toxin in our body will want you to cut out prayer. It wants you to stop talking to God. One of the first things he does is to get you to stop talking to God. To get you to stop talking to God, you can stop asking God about the decisions you got to make in your life. What happens if you do that? What happens if you stop the friendships? Well, let's just see. Let's just see. I wish you had safety glasses in the front row. All right, let's see. Is that what you want to happen to you? If a toxin enters your body, it's going to attack one of these right here. And it's going to try to destroy one of the pillars in your life. And what I've witnessed over 25 years of youth ministry, it's always something different. With one student, it's the mentors. Because the enemy knows if I can cut the mentors out of their life, they'll walk away from God. With other students, it's prayer. They know if they can get the student to stop talking to God and seeking Him at home or the altars, they'll walk away from God and they'll get into sin. Other students, it's the Word of God. They get him to shut it out, not listen, not read, not talk about scriptures, not do any kind of devotion. He'll win. They'll walk away from God. With others, it's changing the friendships. It's getting them to remove the solid Christian friends from their life, find new friends, and they start conforming to those friends' image. And And when they do that, they fall into sin. It was never God's plan. Is there a toxin in your body? Is there a toxin that's trying to reach into your body and get you to cut out one of these things in your life? A lot of you refuse to let people mentor you and help you. You wobbling on your way. You're trying to read, you're trying to pray, you're trying to have good friends, but you don't want anybody to speak into your life that's older than you. When I say mentors, it's not usually your parents, it's other people that speak into you. Your parents speak into you if you let them. Your parents should speak into you. But mentors is when you allow other people to speak into your life too, that encourage you and push you on the way. The biggest hurdle for most young people is they won't let somebody mentor them and help them. We refuse correction. You know why? Because when we look on our phones and we conform to the image of the world, the image of the world is, you ain't going to tell me what to do. I'm going to live my life how I want to live it. Everything's fine. I can figure it out. Look at me. I'm great. And we look at this superstar we're making I love and think, I don't need anybody positive to speak into my life. That's a lie of the enemy. You need people to speak into your life. That's why I have youth leaders that are here that's committed to you for the school year. That's why I'm here. That's why Jessica's here. We want to speak positive into your life. We want to be mentors in your life. Some of you got coaches that have tried to mentor you and speak into your life, but you won't let them. Some of you just have solid people in your life that want to try to mentor you, but sometimes you just don't want to let them do it. Don't let technology get in the way. Everybody stand up. Heads bowed, eyes closed. This is a moment with you and God. I read those questions, those 10 questions. Some of you were answering them out loud, some of you weren't. Some of you were being kind of quiet looking and you were thinking about and digesting those, and you were relating it to a video game or Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu or maybe Disney Plus, whatever it is. You were thinking that, yep, these things are interfering with my life. It's a toxin that's trying to grab hold of you and it's trying to destroy one of those pillars in your life. If you can imagine like a sickness, darkness just wrapping all around one of those legs and it's just trying to get you to fall over. And maybe some of you felt like you've fallen over. Just because you've fallen over doesn't mean you're defeated, doesn't mean it's over for you, doesn't mean you're done. It means it's knocked you down to your knees. And you're here tonight, you have an opportunity while you're knocked down. If you've already been knocked down, one of those pillars has been jerked out from your life because the toxins affected your body, you can say, God, I want to stand back up with all 4 pillars of my life. You know where you're at. You know what you're dealing with. You know what God's speaking to you. So while they begin to sing,